All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in today, Sunday's version, Super Bowl Sunday version of Lions Talk Live. I got to imagine there's a ton of mixed emotions going into today. The good part is, if you're a Lions fan, after today, the new year begins, in essence, I guess you could say. And we can move on from the wrongs of the NFC title game to start really focusing in earnest about whatever it is, 35, 34 days until NFL free agency begins. The Lions have made a couple moves yesterday. We'll talk about that at least a little bit today. But I'm going to guess most everybody's focus is going to be on the big game, the Super Bowl, the fact the Lions aren't in it. Yes, you have the Kansas City Chiefs, who we defeated the first game of the regular season. Yes, we've got the San Francisco 49ers, the team that knocked us out of the postseason. But you know what? I think the hard part with that is knowing just how close we were to beating them. A game of inches, one play here or there. Vildor holds on to the face mask pick. Who knows? Maybe Josh Reynolds holds on to those fourth down passes. We're in the game today, and what a different tone it would be across the nation. What a different tone it'd be across every Lions fan. You get it. It's going to be a different day for sure if we would have pulled off that win. A couple things I do want to get out of the way. This will not be a full hour episode of Lions Talk Live. I am not feeling well by any stretch of imagination. I wanted to sleep as much as I could today, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to power through. I'm going to get all I can out of me today for the show because I know I enjoy the show, and I know most of you guys do too, so obviously that's why everybody's here. Before we get into all that, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that push to go ahead and get to 5,800. I want to say we're about 13 subs away. So if you haven't yet subscribed and you're willing to do so, please consider. Also, if you enjoy the content and the videos and you've got a free second, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out the channel exponentially. Last but never least, if you are unaware, outside of being not feeling well, YouTube host and also being a coach, I also sell real estate. So if you are considering buying or selling real estate anywhere in the great state of Michigan, give me a call. You see my number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let's see if I can work on your behalf, save you some money on either the purchase of a property or the sale of a property. So go ahead and give me a buzz. All right, let's get moving and shaking over to the comments section. Like I said, I'm going to try to power through as much of this as I can today. Michael, greetings and salutations, coach and Duke crew. Back at you, buddy. Hopefully you're having a good one. All right, Robert. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Dan and crew. Yeah, hopefully you're having a real good one, Robert. Robert, I'm not thinking the 49ers will be as lucky as they were against the Green Bay Packers in Detroit. You know, here's what I'd say. I think Green Bay really should have won that game. And yes, Detroit really should have won that game. So you're spot on with both of those. You know, sometimes you just make your own luck. What I want to see, and everybody's going to watch this game for different reasons. I'm going to watch just for Detroit Lions reasons. Are there any guys on either team that I think will be free agents or could be had via trade, low-cost trades, that Detroit Lions can pick up? Really, when I'm watching, that's what I'm going to watch. I want to see Snead. I want to see Chris Jones. I think we all know him well enough at this point in his career. But could somebody like that potentially be coming over to the Detroit Lions and helping out? You guys let me know your thoughts. Will it happen? I mean, who knows? But I do think Snead is about that level corner. He's not going to be, I mean, he might be one of the better ones in this year's free agency, but he's not elite, but he is pretty good. So let me know your guys' thoughts. All right, Brother Ken, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Robert G. and Mr. Dover, and to the rest of the family. Yeah, a lot of the regulars here. We'll see how many people show up today. I got to imagine a lot of people are probably trying to zone out today, and I get it. The Super Bowl, it still kind of hurts or, cuts, whatever you want to say about what happened, the loss to the 49ers in the title game. All right, JDC, good morning, all. Back at you. Hopefully having a great morning. Michael, morning, Brother Ken. All right, Robert, good morning, Brother Ken. Brother Ken waving. Robert G, the 49ers luck will run out today. Yeah, so let me ask you guys, who are you, you got to pick one. Who are you rooting for today? You want to see the 49ers, burn just because they beat us, or would you prefer they win just so we could say, hey, we lost. The team that knocked us out by 3 points it ended up being the Super Bowl champs. Let me know your thoughts. All right, Uncle Buzz, what do you got? Why did Washington have to change their name, but KC has not? That's a pretty good question. One I can't answer. I guess Redskins is offensive. Chiefs are not. That's the best I can come up with. I don't really have a great answer for you there, Uncle Buzz, other than that's my assumption, if at least. All right, Michael, if KC wins, we can say we beat them this season. Yep, we would be able to say that. And as crazy as it is, I know we've done that a few times in the last 10 or 20 years where we have beat the defending Super Bowl champions, or in this year, the team that end up winning the Super Bowl. All right, Brother Ken, this day will be hard for me to swallow because we should have been there. Yeah, 100%. I could see if the 49ers blew us out on the stadium, but we didn't finish the deal. No, you guys heard my piece on it for I guess weeks now. Man, it really doesn't seem like it's only been 2 weeks since that game. But I get Alex Anzalone's point. I get everybody else's point. Hey, going for it on fourth downs, those situations, we've done it all year. I get it. I get Josh Reynolds holds on to that 4th and 2 or whatever, that drop pass. The first one, at least when we had the 14-point lead, the 49ers had just scored a field goal on the opening drive, third quarter. There's 7 minutes left. I get it. He holds on to that. We probably win and go to the Super Bowl. I'm still to the end of time probably going, man, we kicked that field goal. We go up 17. And I want to reiterate, I get everything that the players have said, the coaches have said. I stand by it. Hey, that's who you are. Go do it. But I still think, man, you've burnt through half of the third quarter. You kick that field goal to put it back up 17. There's no real momentum for them then, right? They're no better than they were at halftime. You're down 17. I don't know, man. When you lose, everything's reviewable. Everything, man, we could have done this or that. But here's what I do know. Trying to be the positive person here. Here's what I do know. If you would have said at the start of the year to the entire Lions nation and fan base that, hey, you will be in a 3-point game in the NFC title game with a chance, obviously, to win the Super Bowl, but you're going to ultimately end up losing that game, would you take that? I'm going to guess most of us would probably say, yeah. I'm going to guess most of us would have been all over and said that means we actually win playoff games to get to the NFC title game. We probably would have done it. But to your point, Brother Ken, being as far into it as we were, having that lead and how we looked in that, for the most part, that first half, it's unfortunate. All right, Robert G. Unfortunately, yeah. I think we're all feeling the same way today. Hookadoo morning, Coach and Duke Group. Go Lions, back at you. Hopefully having a great morning. Robert, at Brother Ken, it will give us something to look forward to next year. And, that's something we've talked about, and I think we all need to recognize. You listen to the players, whether it's, Hutchinson talking on Super Bowl Row to a couple different outlets. If you listen to or read Anzalone's players tribute statement, if you listen to Penei Sewell, you hear the coaching staff, you see and hear what Brad Holmes has to say. I think, I know I've mentioned it before, but I really do think this is going to be a galvanizing moment for this team. Much like other teams who have gone through significant losses, heartbreakers in our sport, or NFL or other sports. This could be really something that pushes this team to not just win next year, but I think they've got a 3 to 5 year window where we might be contending for the Super Bowl virtually each of those years. I don't think this is going to be like the 90s where we make the playoffs one year and then fall apart the next, make the playoffs the following year, fall apart the next. I think we're sustainable. I really do. And I think, we're going to talk about it probably throughout the off season about Goff's contract. I think it's going to start with him. If he goes out there, if he really does his job, if he takes a team-friendly deal, then you're going to see a lot of other people matriculate in kind, and they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then you're going to start seeing this team really get pumped up. I think we have the groundwork set, like you said, for about a 3 to 5 year window. And man, I'm not going to lie, man, if we get one Super Bowl in that, I'm okay. But if we're constantly in contention, yeah, that's just something we've never seen before. All right, Darcy, what do you got? The greetings and salutations, all. Not sure if I'll watch the game. There's a lot of people who are feeling the way you do, Darcy. Don't doubt that one bit whatsoever. Everybody is got mixed emotions today. I am going to watch it. I know I wasn't sure if I was going to. It's probably going to be in the background when Kansas City's defense is on the field. I'm probably watching them, like I said before, just to kind of scout a couple potential free agents, and that's about it. I'll be watching for the commercials too. I do want to see that Deadpool 3 commercial. All right, JDC, Uncle Buzz. I call them the Washington W's. Yes, that's probably a good one for that. All right, Hookadoo, Coach, your thumbnail is spot on today. Yeah, unfortunately it is. Thanks for that. I wasn't sure what to put up there today, but that seemed like a good picture to use of MCDC and obviously today's game. So thanks for that, Hookadoo. Clark, what do you got? Good morning, all. Lions signed the best sacker from the CFL yesterday. I heard something about that, and I know a couple, people messaged me about that, but I don't know the kid's name. I remember watching video on him during the season when they brought him in for a workout. And I'll say this: the kid obviously can get separation on the corner. He can get after people. I would also say this: I would want to see a lot more out of him. Not to say, hey, not to discredit any of his 18 sacks or anything like that. I get he was highly productive there. But what I would say is if you go and watch some of his highlights from last year, highlights don't tell an entire story. That's why I discourage players from putting them out there. But being as it may, you watch the ability of the tackles to block him, and it's just not very strong. You watch a lot of his moves, his up and under, his swim move, etc. You just see that there's, at least in those videos I watched, so to be fair to him, maybe I just don't watch enough. He was pretty limited. Now, that doesn't mean he can't be developed. That doesn't mean he can't be a contributor. That doesn't mean he couldn't be a diamond in the rough. I'm just saying I'm using a little bit of pause when looking at him at this point. All right, Uncle Buzz, happy Super Bowl day. Yes, Super Owl Day. All right. I'm thinking that's a typo or whatever, maybe voice the text, but either way, I hope you have a great Super Bowl date, Uncle Buzz. Big Eddie, good morning, all. Not happy today. Really wishing we could have made the game. Yeah, and you're not alone, man. I mean, you see it in the chat, you see it in the show. We're whatever, like 12, 13 minutes in, and everybody's got those feelings. I'm just going to sit back, watch it a little bit, probably more the commercials, like I said, and go from there. All right, Doug, may the dew be with you all today. We were so close. Yeah, and, Mountain Dew might have to get us all through what mixed emotions we've had from the game, from the NFC title game of them today, but so close, but yet, I mean, so far away, right? I talked to the team I coach, and I do want to give a shout out to one of our players. I know I did this about a week ago, but I'm less than happy with local media. So we have a player, Caitlin Bainey, scored 1,000 career points, and no, not one game over the course of her career. Local media has put it out there for some other players. For whatever reason, they didn't put it out for her. I think they're going to correct that this upcoming week. So thanks for that. But I did want to give a shout out to her. That's a heck of an achievement for a player. So thanks for listening to that, guys. Dave, what do you got? Due to what is most likely acute food poisoning, I'm actually up and awake for the show for a change. What's up, y'all? Well, hopefully you're doing okay, Dave. I mean, man, hopefully, yeah, you're okay and going to get through it. But, man, food poisoning is no joke. I've had that. I can think of one time specifically. Yeah, and that was not fun by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm glad you're a part of the show. Hopefully we can help at least a little bit, help you get through things. All right, Lions fan number one. Good morning, all. Superdome or bust? Yes. And I got to imagine Donkey Kong's going to have to take part in some of that. I want to thank Jason from the chat for, I think, starting that a few days ago. And, yeah, people have been catching on. It fits well. And let's make sure the Lions are doing everything we can this offseason to make a strong push to the Super Bowl. Drake, greetings, salutations, everyone. Back at you, buddy. Hopefully having a good one. 9 Drinks, happy Super Bowl Sunday, everyone. 9 Drinks, one of the living legends in Lions YouTube chat commentary. And, hey, I hope you have a great one. So 9 Drinks, I got a question for you. You got any special foods you're going to be eating or consuming for today's game? Probably try to keep some of the foods away from Day. Yeah, again, I hope you feel okay, man. Joseph, no way I'm rooting for the Niners. All right. All for the Chiefs. I'll go with that, Joseph. And I don't blame you, man. Beat down the team that beats you down. I don't think there's a right answer, wrong answer. I'm just curious how everybody is feeling though towards the game. All right, Brother Ken, I don't think we should root against the 49ers. They beat us fair and square. Sportsmanship family. Yeah. And root for whoever you want. Root for maybe just a good game. I know there's some shirts going around that say, "Hey, I hope both teams lose." Signed Lions fan. I'm okay with that too. Do whatever works best for you. Make it as enjoyable a game to watch as possible, because at the end of the day, we have no real vested interest in this game. So just have fun with it. All right, Matthew, greetings and salutations. Good morning, everyone. If the 49ers win, then that makes us number 2 in the NFL because we beat the Chiefs. All right, I'll go with that logic. Yeah, it would be interesting to see in your scenario, Matthew, when this game ends. And, they're going to have a final power rankings. Everybody's going to do it. I guess we could do that if you guys want on the show. But I would say this, it would be funny to see if they do rank us number 2, number 3, or 4, wherever it is. All right, Robert G. Hey, Dan, do you know what the flag was for that picked up on Vildor debacle? I think they were going to call pass interference on us, but since, I don't know, man, I'm guessing since there was contact by both guys, they talked about it and decided to pick it up since there was, I guess, no real advantage, and they ultimately ruled the contact as incidental. That's my guess, Robert. I don't really remember at this point, but I seem to remember something about that. But again, don't hold me to it. All right, JDC, Uncle Buzz, Super Owl, thanks for you for this. Yeah, that was nice. And I'm guessing, the talk to text or something got him a little bit there. Man Bear, what up, Doe? Yes, what up, Do? Yes, what up, Do? Hopefully having a good morning and hopefully having a Mountain Dew. I'm going to probably need a little bit of a one today from the Circle K. T-Share, what do you got? Greetings, salutations, Coach. Hopefully you get a little R&R today. KC for the win. Lock in that bet. Not the hardest day ever, I'm guessing, to non-Lions Super Bowls. We lost that game, and it's on us. It is. And at the end of the day, what we should be thankful for, just a thought for you guys, is that there was no kind of odd, penalty or somehow the officiating, like we've seen so many times in Lions history where something real just unexplainable happens. The busted coverage, whatever it is, just something that you're like, what the heck just happened? And fortunately, the only people we're blaming is ourselves. That second half, the last, 22 minutes of the game, we just made too many mistakes. We didn't wrap up. Purdy running, scrambling, hurt us. Vildor's face mask. But to be fair, Vildor and Cam Sutton both dropped potential interceptions in that game, and I think they both dropped them in the second half. I know Sutton had another opportunity in the first half, but the 49ers receiver busted it up, basically playing defensive back. We can all debate the fourth down calls, not kicking it, whatever, but at the end of the day, accumulation of all those things in the second half are ultimately why we're not playing in the Super Bowl. Man Bear, I just hope it's a good game. Yeah, that's all you can really hope for. It's not a blowout, not a yawner, something at least to keep us interested if you're watching and engaged with it. All right, Ed, what do you got? Good morning, Coach and Duke crew. I want a good game. It's the end to one season and the start to a new one. You're 100% right, man. It's been a great season for Lions fans. Yes, we're all being greedy and saying and wishing we would have been in the Super Bowl. Totally get it. But the other part of it is when this game ends, you are one day closer to free agency starting. This season has now officially come to a close. And you know what? We can all start thinking towards OTAs, the draft, preseason, and whatever it is, I guess 4 months. So the off season is here for the most part, and it's going to go by quickly. So we'll be talking all sorts of stuff and, visioning players being signed by Detroit and getting one step closer to actual NFL kickoff in September. All right, Trump, prayers for those at the Super Bowl today and people everywhere. All right, I'll go with that. Man, I saw some of the prices of the tickets. I think it was like $11,000 is the average price. I know there was one guy who messaged me from the show yesterday, said he bought a ticket somewhere in the earlier part of the playoffs for like $9,000, sold it for like $17,000. He's going to pocket the rest and use that for next year when we make it to the Super Bowl. So I mean, that's some outside the box thinking, and yeah, good for him. All right, brother Ken, to answer your question, Dan, I'm rooting for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. All right, fair enough. Nothing wrong with that, man. Day, what do you got? The Niners lucked their way into the Super Bowl, in your opinion, while Casey earned it, especially beating Baltimore in their house. Yeah, that was an impressive win, 1,000% by Kansas City over Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens. I mean, I guess I'd ask you guys: would you have rather have lost like the Ravens, or would you rather have what happened to us? I mean, either one's a loss, right? But if there's one that makes you feel better, let me know. Dave, the Chiefs win, hopefully. Okay, fair enough. Jim, what do you got? Kansas City is much better. We'll go with that. Trump, today the crybabies come back out. Fair enough. All right. Doug, what do you got? Greetings and salutations, all. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. James Dean. Hey, I like that quote. That's a good one. I like that one, Doug. I may have to borrow that one for coaching. All right, Brent, KC wins. Good. I'll go with that, Brent. And Brent, how are you doing? I know everybody's going to ask, so I figure just ask it now for everybody. Hopefully you're doing better. All right, Matthew, if we don't keep Aquarius, Charles Harris, Walker, and Vaitai, then we should have plenty to keep the O-line and Goff. The defense is so young that the D costs half of the O. Yeah, the offense currently is where the bulk of our salary cap is. And to your point, Matthew, there's going to be some money, I think, getting freed up that we'll be able to use. And, just use Tracy Walker's example. I just don't think they're going to pay him what he's getting paid to be the number 3 safety. So I do believe we're going to be somewhere closer to 60, 65. Who knows, man? Maybe 70 million in free agent available salary cap space to use. So how much of it Holmes is going to use? Man, we'll speculate that in another show, but I don't think he's going to break the bank on any free agents. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Robert G., I do agree with your thoughts, Dan. I was saying that when and it was 4th down, kick the field goal, go up 17 again. Yeah, and time, it's just MCDC, every right to view it the way he wants. Same with Detroit Lions. I just am telling you guys how I view it. To me, you're back up 17. There are only 22-ish minutes left. You start putting some real pressure on the 49ers offense. You start forcing them to, probably become a lot more one-dimensional. Because if they go on another drive and don't score, let's just assume they take another 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes off the clock. Now you're basically into the 4th quarter with a 17-point lead. Yeah, that you start making the other team incredibly one-dimensional and forcing things. All right, Ed, what do you got? I live in a retirement community in Florida with fans from all over the country. We are having a big Super Bowl party. Woo! Well, I hope you have a great time there, man. And I hope you guys just enjoy it, kick back, relax, have some good food, and just, great time with each other. Big M, good morning, Dan and Duke crew. Tough watch today. Not sure I will. I am one that is still singing from that epic meltdown. Prayers to all and God bless. Yeah, Big M, you're not alone, man. Trust me. Whether or not we're all going to say it or not, we're all still feeling it. We're all still thinking about it. We're playing the game in our head. It is what it is, man. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's going to be a tough one if you watch. All right, Hookadoo, I'm tired of reading it was Dan Campbell's fault for loss. Yeah, I don't think it was at all, man. He's no different than any other coach. You're going to do what you feel is best for your team. He did that. We're only debating it because of obviously the result. If Josh Reynolds holds on to that first one, I said it earlier in the show and I've said it over the weeks, we're in the Super Bowl. So I'm not blaming MCDC at all. We're probably blaming the results, but that's not on him. You're going to make any athlete go out and do something. There's always 50-50 risk. Can they get it done? Does the defense make a play? You get it. It's not on any one person or individual, in my opinion. JDC, just another day above ground for this whole day. Fair enough. Well, hopefully you continue that trend, JDC. All right, Polar Bear, rumor is that we are getting Matthew Betts, CFL pass rusher, 18 sacks in 18 games last year. Reserve future signing. Can't be signed until next week. Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning that earlier, Polar Bear, that I had heard that they were going to sign him to a contract. And then, it won't be official to the end of this one. And then next week's signings are allowed. So, yeah, and I know I mentioned it real quick, watching him last year when we considered him during the regular season. I mean, he's got some ability. He does have some, in my opinion, straight edge speed. So he can go forward in a straight line pretty fast. He does have some power. He does have some real nice upper body strength. I just want to see a little bit more technique from him than what I saw, at least in a limited amount. And I want to say that again, in limited amount of video study I did on him. But if they can clean up some of his stuff, he'll be pretty nice. He could be something. Day, I might listen to Micro Mike Kimber call the game, but I'm not watching it. Yeah, I heard Micro was going to do that. Good for him if he does it. I'm going to look into the lives for next year. The one thing I struggle with is just, I feel like sometimes I'm spoiling the plays for half the people watching, and then the other half get the game actually faster than I do. So I'll look into it next year. But yeah, listening to Michael Mike, maybe not a bad idea. Brother Ken, I remember when Baltimore Ravens beat the Tigers in Baltimore Orioles, beat the Tigers in 83. That motivated the hell out of them. They won the 84 World Series with a vengeance. They did. And that's a great comparison. So you might be spot on with that this could be the thing that really pushes this team over the top. And again, I do think they can be relevant for a few years, not just one. RG, it wasn't MCDC's fault. Unfortunately, if you live by the sword, you may die by the sword. I stand by MCDC. He is the reason that got us where we are. Yeah, 100%. I get why people are on him or whatever for right after the game, emotions or whatever, but we're 2 weeks beyond it. I'm not putting blame on any one aspect of the game. It's just as easy to blame this person or that person than it is anybody else. And you know what? Hey, the guy did what he thought was best for the team, and you got to respect it. You got to go with it. Game of inches. And unfortunately, we're just on the wrong side of a few of those inches. All right, Mile Marker, good morning. Party day. All right. Well, hopefully you have a great party to go to there, Mile. Hopefully you enjoy it. Phil, good morning. Good morning to you, buddy. Hopefully you're having a great morning. Trump, owl is illuminated. All right, fair enough. Trump, I'll go with that. Joseph, listen to a guy who knows nothing about football. Great choice. Yeah, it happens, man. All right. Oh, boy, shots of Phil. Taylor Swift all day. Yeah, there'll be a ton of that going on. All right, Boo. Good morning, Duke Crew. Superdome or bust! ! I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I'm going to go watch it. It's already paid for. All right, fair enough. Yeah, go enjoy it. Have a great time, man. We'll get. I think we're, like I said before, I think we're going to be contending for the Super Bowl for the next several years. And hey, I remember when we used to say we were this close to the first pick. Yes. I see what you did there. That close to the first pick. Yeah, and everybody would get upset with we kick a field goal and beat the Saints or whatever. That way we couldn't draft Reggie Bush and stuff. But those days hopefully are gone for a long time. All right, Brother Ken, Aftercat, with the closest I've ever come to dying was through food poisoning. Get well soon, brother. Yeah, hopefully you do well, Day, and you're recovering. All right, Mile Marker, I cheer the 49ers, my first team. Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. Go support them if that's your team. Go cheer them on, man. Day, I'm feeling amazingly well now, especially since I seriously thought I might be dying less than 2 hours ago. Still feeling real sick and weak, though. Well, take it easy, man. I don't know what you're going to do for it. I know 7-Up always seemed to help settle my stomach. Maybe you try that. But whatever you do, just take it easy and recover, man. Brent, not thrilled about the Super Bowl and more excited about getting my chest tubes removed. Go Chiefs. Get those things removed, man. And hopefully that's a celebration in yourself, to itself, I should say. And yeah, I'm just glad you're doing okay, man. All right, Polar Bear. I looked for a tall wide receiver that I liked in the draft yesterday. Didn't find a guy I liked better than Josh Reynolds. Lions should re-sign Josh. I believe they will, man. He had two bad plays that I can at least readily think of. Oops, sorry about that, guys. My alarm just went off. So yeah, I gotta imagine he's gonna be coming back. Robert G, we're having barbecue wings, chips and salsa, and heartburn by the end of the game. Fair enough. I'm glad you got the day all planned out. JDC, everybody starts at the square one again after this game. Yes, everybody starts over. You know what? Everybody's going to be back to 0-0. Let's see what we can do to shake it up and get back to being in the playoffs and then progressing to the Super Bowl. 9 drinks, sausage stars, sausage, cheese, ranch, olives, and wonton, wings, meatballs. If game is a sleeper, I'll sleep. Well, all right, fair enough. 9 drinks. All right. I like the way you're going, though. You got a bit of a game plan there. Fletch lives, still feeling the loss to San Francisco. They deserve to win it all. Go Lions. Fair enough. I'll go with that. Yeah. They did everything they could to win. They got it done. We just came up just a little bit short. Matthew, why are linemen flagged for hands to the face mask, but a running back can stiff arm anyone to the face mask and never get flagged? That is a great question and one I can't answer. Sometimes I think it is an unfair advantage for the offensive players to be able to do that, but they're not asking me for my opinion on that. David, let's go Kansas City. Can't wait till next year. Yeah, whoever you're cheering on, go ahead and enjoy the show. Watch the commercials. Enjoy some good time with family and friends. All right, Polar Bear, Romeo Okwara has a $3.5 million cap hit. His dead cap is $3.5 million. No reason to bring him back. Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to bring him back. All right, Pete, Lions fans hope there is no hard feelings, but it's bang bang Niner gang today. Fair enough. And Pete, go get that win. I mean, if you're there, you might as well win it, right? See, Nate, what do you got? Going for it on 4th down at school during the regular season to throw the defense off, but for the big one, rack up points, stick to the fundamentals, especially if QB not tough enough to scramble for 3 yards. Hey, it's there's no doubt about it. Goff is probably not going to make a living in the NFL scrambling for yards, but you know what? He does one thing pretty well. He reads defenses and he picks them apart. One could say he's currently around the top 5 quarterback in the league. So I'll just say this, man. He's the best one we've had since exactly. He's the best quarterback we've had that you could probably say in any of our lifetimes. And I always use the analogy, hey, Eric Kramer is the best quarterback I've ever seen because he won a playoff game. If I use that standard, then you know what? Goff is easily the best because he's won 2 playoff games in a single season, and he's only been here 3 years. Stafford was here 12 years. Never even got – well, I'll give him this. The Dallas Cowboy game probably should have been a win, but it wasn't. Hey, Eric Kramer and Jared Goff are the only 2 living Lions quarterbacks to ever win a playoff game. So that just shows you how rare what he's achieved is. All right, Trump put Romeo on practice squad. Maybe someone picks him up, his contract up. Yeah, it's a possibility. I can't see him be trading for him, but maybe somebody does something like that in an area of need. Phil, ultimately, Dan is responsible for every loss. Hey, man, yeah, that's part of coaching. I'll say that to you guys. When teams are winning, you want to share the wealth and the success, the accolades. When you're losing as a coach, you want to put all the blame on you. Keep it away from your players and the other coaches, your subordinate coaches. I will say this: MCDC is tough enough where I don't think it bothers him, especially at this point. I have no doubt he's watching today's game and he's going to be, real locked in on it, probably going through his thoughts, his emotions. But again, sort of like we've talked about a lot on today's show, I think this is going to be a motivating factor. I have no doubt all the Lions teammates or members are going to be watching this game and just using that as rocket fuel to propel them into next year. All right, rating Q, what do you got? Greetings and salutations. DC put his name out there. We came in to take risks. Let's go, Lions. 24-25 Super Bowl. I like the way you are thinking. Very positive and thinking forward. Trump, Dan did not fumble or drop catches. No, he did not. He did not. And yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, Trump. I forgot all about the Gibbs fumble until you just mentioned it. But yes, he did not fumble nor drop any catches. It is what it is, man. Moving forward, Dan MCDC's this team's coach for a long time, so we can. If you want to have an issue with him, go for it. I have no issues with him. I can only tell you that's my personal opinion. But if you do, then that is your right. Iceman, Dan Campbell's games cost that game. I don't care how people look at it. Going for it throughout the regular season is cool, but it's win or go home in the playoffs. Play to win, not to lose. I mean, I can see what you're saying, Iceman. But if you're gonna say play to win, if Josh Reynolds holds on to that 4th down catch, you're playing to win. You're playing to eat up more clock, keep the ball away from the 49ers, keep your offense on the field. Potentially instead of getting 3 points, you're going for 7 points. I mean, we could split this to death all day. And I'm just going to say this, guys. Let's just think about next season. You can't change the past, so let's think forward. All right, Phil. Lions scouting department is amazing. 1,000% there, no question about that. It'd be hard to find another team in the league that has a scouting department anywhere near the Detroit Lions level. It's it'll be interesting to see. I know a couple of them already been snagged by other teams. You'll probably see more get pillaged, if not this offseason, then probably the following one, especially if they have another great draft. Phil, I will watch Mike do the show. Fair enough. Yeah, he does a good job with things, man. Trump, Gibbs cost us 7 points. Yeah, that's a fair statement to say. Yeah. All right, Randy Q, we scored enough to win. We did. And unfortunately, we also gave up just a little bit more. So it is what it is. I mean, like we've talked about a lot, you get to the Final Four, it is a game of inches. I mean, it's a game of inches in most weeks in the NFL. A couple plays here and there really ultimately are what decide games. Now you're talking about the Final Four teams in the league to be in the playoffs. There's really only a couple plays that determine the significant difference of a game. And unfortunately, we're just 3 points to the negative on the scoreboard. Rating Q, thank goodness for squares. This game has no purpose for us. Well, I hope you got some good squares, man, and you enjoy the game at least for that. All right, Ed, 85 watching, 32 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Yeah, if you guys would, if you're enjoying the show and the content, hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. We're only about 12 or 15 subs away from hitting 5,800. All right, Mile Marker, sounds like you're doing better at Brent. Yeah, it sounds like he's improving. So hopefully you keep getting better, buddy. Keep it going. Yep. C note, what do you got? 24-7 felt like heaven. Then 8 straight, then straight to hell. Second half, heart still broken. First time in my 48 years. I don't want to watch Super Bowl. You're not alone, C note. You're not alone at all. We were all feeling the same way. I know I had people call me and text me, man, do a halftime show. I just didn't want to do it, man, because I was in my zone. And I was like, man, this game ain't over. I've coached too long. I've reported too long, especially in something like that. I didn't want to do anything other than focus on that game. And, it was funny after the game, after the NFC title game, there were people on the live stream saying, man, shouldn't have done this. I should have kneeled. I should have worn my lucky whatever. I was thinking to myself, I'm not gonna lie. I came up at halftime to the office I do these videos in, and I started working on the post game thumbnail. And the third quarter, when things started going south, especially the fourth quarter, I was like, man, I should have worked on that thumbnail because that cost us the game. And nothing can be further from the truth. It's nothing to do with your jersey, your lucky underwear, your lucky Mountain Dew or whatever it is. It's just unfortunate, but the 49ers made adjustments to us at halftime. They got a couple breaks, and we did not have the counter punches for those adjustments, in my opinion. The team played a great season. We should not, forget about that. What this franchise has done in 3 seasons under the new regime is just incredible. We're all going to wish the Lions were in this today. We wouldn't be Lions fans if we weren't thinking, man, we could have been there. We could have won it. We should all be thinking that. Because you know what? I think that's an indication of where this team will be for the foreseeable future. You heard my take, 3 to 5 years, and who knows beyond that. If we keep drafting like we do, then we're going to be around for a real long time. But this team's got the opportunity to be relevant, and I think we need to all just appreciate what we've done. Be greedy. We can't change today. We're not going to be in it, but we can be greedy and say, hey, these are now the expectations of this team and the fan base, that it is Super Bowl or bust, Superdome or bust. Ranting, love your content, dude, man. Hey, thanks for that, man, and hopefully having a great day there. Sorry to clear my throat. Robert G, hope who all of you that aren't feeling well get well soon and enjoy the rest of your day. Say thanks for that, Robert. I know there's a few people out there not doing the greatest, and I know I'm going to be doing what I can to just kind of relax today because I'm feeling it a little bit today. Powering through, though. Man Bear, What's the spread as of yesterday? That I don't know. I don't really do gambling, so I can't tell you the spreads or whatever. If somebody knows in the chat, throw it at them. Phil, instead of watching a Ford in the Super Bowl, I'll be working on my Ford truck. It's lost too. Fair enough. Hopefully you get some nice work done on it, man. Man, Barrett, no room for gambling when it's a win or go home. Take the points. Dan is selfish because he wants to maintain that grit, tough image, but it's hurting his team that's playing their butts off for him. I get it, Iceman. But according to the players, at least the ones that have come forward, they're in full support of what he did. I know Anzalone's piece. Hutchinson talked on it that he was fine with it. Panay Sewell also reiterated the same thing. So seems like the team supported him going for it. If you haven't yet read it, Iceman, go ahead and check out Anzalone's piece in the players. What do you call it? But anyways, check out that piece. It might give you some insights there. Dave, what do you got? Anyone ever seen an onside kick where the kicker tries the line drive kick at a player 10 yards away? Since the odds are so low anyways, I'd like to see someone try that. Boy, that's right out of the water, boy, Dave. And I'd be okay with that, man. Who are you gonna slap that ball off of? The day might be coming because they have changed the rules to make it exponentially more difficult to get the onside kick. So maybe you just gotta get somebody with a rocket leg, blast it off somebody, and go collect the bounce, I guess. All right, is that so? You tomorrow brings the Lions run to the Super Bowl. Young team and tough grit. It's going to be something fire. I think you're spot on, man. I think we're going to be coming out, and I want to see what maybe you guys know about this, but as Vegas already put out lines for next year, it'll be interesting to me to see what whatever the Vegas puts out the points, whatever it's saying, what's the percent chances the Lions are in the Super Bowl next year. Manberry, I don't think Romeo can be put on the practice squad. Isn't he fully vested? I'd have to check on that. I don't know off the top of my noggin. So I don't want to tell you one thing and be misleading. K-pop fan, hey to you too. Hopefully you're doing having a great day. Iceman, I feel sorry for players that will run through a wall for Dan. Dan's decision is hurting them. Looking at their post-game show, you can see the pain in their eyes. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't have pain? You just had your season come to a close, and it's going to be that way for every team when that final curtain call comes. Today, there's going to be one more team that's going to feel the exact same way the Lions felt last week, or the Ravens, etc., or excuse me, 2 weeks ago. But it's part of sports, man. Every sport, you get to the playoffs, there's only going to be one team that walks out of this place happy. The rest of them are, not feeling the greatest. K-pop, who do you think it's going to win the Super Bowl of 49ers? I'm taking the Chiefs today. I think the Chiefs will win, but that's just my pick. It's not because I want to see them win or whatever. I just think they're going to win. Robert G., if they would have went for the field goal and it was blocked and returned for a TD, MCDC would have been called out for not going for it. That's also true. Guys, that's the world we live in. Every coach, every level. And it's crazy when even just watching interactions with like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade coaches, you see people yelling and screaming at them for not doing this or that. It's just, I'm not saying I agree with it because I don't, but I can tell you, like, the team I'm currently coaching, we're 15-2. We've lost 2 games by a total combined, I think it's 5 points, one by 2 and 1 by 3. And there are people that are calling for my head. I'm the dumbest coach ever. You can go undefeated. I've seen Super Bowl or teams that I should say won the Super Bowl, but I've seen teams that have virtually perfect records at the end of the regular season in the NFL, and people are calling for their heads. I can remember when Wayne Fontes the Detroit Lions beat the Dallas Cowboys in 91 or whatever it was, 92, I guess technically. There were people calling Wayne Fontes and the Lions stupid for doing this or that, or not. What was it? I remember they let Andre Ware play in the second half once they got down, 20 some points, and there was limited time left. There were people clamoring for, people to be fired, or Andre Ware should have never been on the field or whatever. It's just, if you feel a particular way, you have every right to feel it. I'm just saying, for every person that's upset by it, there are going to be people that aren't upset by it. I think the only thing I would say, being, a little bit older, getting closer and closer to 52, feel the way you want, but be respectful of how other people feel. there's no right, there's no wrong. All right, there's my stuff. All right, Trump, MCDC, blah blah blah. Yeah, 100%. JK, what do you got? Good morning. I'm going to pretend the Chiefs versus Lions Super Bowl today. I'll go with that. That's that's not a bad way to be. Boo. After what I recall that happening, I just can't remember the particulars. Yeah, me either all the time. All right, Matthew. There is a company in Utah that trains MMA fighters. They use a combination of karate, jiu-jitsu, and judo in their training. The Lions should put their whole D through that training to improve tackling. And that's a thought. I know people do different stuff. I know some people do ballet. Yes, even NFL guys do, to work on different aspects of the leg strength and conditioning, their balance. So people do a lot of different things. I know some guys, and this is probably going a little bit old school in the 80s, maybe early 90s, used to take their hands into a bag of rice or like a bucket of rice and just keep jamming them there as hard as they could to try to build up the strength of their hands, so when they grab the jerseys, they can hold on better. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen anybody in the NFL do that, but I mean, my point being that people are constantly looking for every advantage they can get. Man Bear, Lions square up the D, and we'll be true contenders. 100%. You get one or two more people in pass coverage that can go out and do something, and then if you can get to the quarterback a little bit better by adding another edge rusher, I think you're pretty spot on with that. Nice, man. You said think about next season, but Dan is still going to go for it next season. Yeah, it's who he is, man. What are we going to what are we paying the kicker for? If I was Sheila, I would ask Dan that question. They have a kicker. They do use them sometimes. I'm guessing, and it's just a guess, Iceman. Dan Campbell's doing it by his evaluation of where the game is at that point. As you guys know, he kicked a field goal right before halftime. He did question going for it. He thought it was a little too long, whatever it was, like 4th and 3 or something like that. So I don't know. He did kick that one. If he would have went for it and got it, we'd all have a different conversation, just like on the 4th downs that he went for in the second half and didn't get. If they would have got those, we all probably would have a vastly different view. It's just the nature of coaching. All right, James, I hope Kansas City loses because I'm tired of Taylor Swift. I know, so you guys know Jen is not a sports person by any stretch of the imagination. She was talking about last night. We went to like what do you want to call a car show thing where they had all these different cars from like the 20s, the 30s, 40s up to modern cars. And there was a group of them, not sports people and by any stretch, but a number of them were saying they were watching because they're Swifties. And I just shook my head. I was like, you're watching the Super Bowl for probably about 5 minutes worth of total flashes up to the stands or whatever, wherever she's going to be, just so you can see glimpses of her. I mean, I guess if that's, you want to do it, then go for it. K-pop 49ers win, sick, good 49ers. All right, fair enough. All right. Trump, Taylor Swift is a George Sordo's puppet. Fair enough. T note, what do you got? Saw a clip of Hooker running a run play in practice, and he was running. He looked damn good too. At least put him on 4th and 3. Why draft him if you're not going to use him? Oh, he had a bad tooth. To be fair to him and the team, if I think, and this is just my thoughts, so don't get upset by him. But if you hadn't used him all season long, is he really ready for it? And maybe he hasn't been fully cleared, to be out there in the game. I don't know, man. But I do think, to your point, from what I've seen, which is incredibly limited to Hooker, I think he's got a lot of abilities. Now, I haven't seen him do any, pre-snap reads, go through progressions. That stuff we're probably all going to have to wait to OTAs and then in earnest the preseason. I do think there's some potential that if Hooker goes out there and does incredibly well next preseason, you could, see some teams potentially want to go for him, or is he just going to put a little bit more flexibility in the offense at particular times, sort of like you're pointing out on certain situations, or can he eventually in another year or two really push Jared Goff for the starting spot? That's the stuff we're all going to have to wait, at least in my opinion, to the offseason and really the preseason to see what this kid's got. But I will tell you this, going into next season, there's probably going to be a large percentage of the fan base that are going to be eagerly watching those preseason games just to see what this kid has. All right, Robert, fair weather fans, shake my hand. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I know the day that the day after the Lions lost, you could see it in a lot of the commentary that, and I know some of you guys sent me clips from different forums and stuff where people said they were checking out, they're out of here. Lions didn't win. So yeah, there are some that are less dedicated fans than others. Maybe we should just say that. JDC, Iceman Dan would say because we need one. Fair enough. All right, I'll go with that. Iceman Dan didn't get Coach of the Year because of his terrible decisions. Well, he did get Coach of the Year from a couple different sources, not from other sources though. So there is that. I mean, some people voted him in different platforms Coach of the Year. Some did not. He was not universally, I guess we could say, Coach of the Year. Trump, crybabies, crybaby. Yep. All right. Is that so? You hopefully the bitterness will ease after today. I opt to be an optimist. Me too on that one. Is that still you? Not ignoring stress and mistakes, but life is now in ahead, not behind. Yeah. You and I probably view it the same way. To me, you can't change it. So why worry about it? Maybe give yourself 24, 48 hours to kind of deal with whatever it is. But after that, man, you got to go forward. Otherwise, you're living in the past. All right, Robert G, MCDC, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Yeah, it's, again, the life of coaching. K-pop 49ers win, sick, good 49. Fair enough. I feel like I already read that one. Maybe I did. JDC, Motor City Do Crew. I'm liking that. That would be an excellent t-shirt or sweatshirt. Is that still you? Some of you guys have had more time to get accustomed to Lions disappointment. This is also true. Some of us have been Lions fans. This is, I don't know. I started when I was like 7 or 8. So, going like on 45 years of Lions fandoming. Iceman, JDC doesn't get enough kicking time to know. Fair enough. All right, Trump's genius. Iceman guessed the fumble that cost us 7 and the 45 minutes off the clock was DC's fault. Fair question. Michael, howdy, Dan Lions faithful. Back at you, buddy. Hopefully having a great one. Ed, Dan, as a realtor, you will find this interesting. Where I live is a 35 by 65, sells for $200,000. Fair enough. And I hope you have a great community, which it sounds like you do, Ed. It sounds like you go fishing or by there a lot. Plus, you guys are having the Super Bowl party. It sounds like you guys have a pretty good camaraderie and community. So I'm glad you got that there, man. I know where my mom lives, and she's lived there for like, I don't know, 20 some years now. Maybe it's getting close to 30. They've got a clubhouse, swimming pool. They do some stuff together. I know there's one guy that walks throughout the community. She says and gets like 7 to 10 miles walking a day. My mom's almost 90 now, so the fact that she still gets out and for the most part mows her own lawn, shovels her own driveway, just makes me happy, man. She still works a couple days a week too. Man Bear, yeah, right. Right guard. Now the Lions are winning. There will be plenty fair weather fans and bandwagon fans. There always is, man. Just deal with it. Enjoy the team. Yeah, 100%. JDC, Iceman, true that. Fair enough. All right, Trump's. You sell a house for 1,700 square foot and a double lot for 200,000. Location. I've had enough clients over the years that came from other countries or other states that, especially during the pandemic, I had a ton of people coming from different spots in the world, and they would sell houses there that they would profit half the money and then buy something significantly larger here. It's just how it goes, just no matter where you are in the world. David, next year, Superdome for sure. Excited to see what's going to happen during the off season. Woo! There you go. There's a woo for you, David. All right, Iceman, Trump, clown, Biden agreed that Dan costs. Oh boy. I wonder if Biden even knows football, but I'm not 100% sure. Trump, Iceman is, oh boy. See note, mobile QBs are the new era, hence Lamar MVP, Jackson, even Purdy ran for 20 yards. Goff is the weakest link. Everybody's going to have their opinion on that. All I can say is he's still the only Lions quarterback alive to win 2 playoff games in a single season. and let alone only one of two Lions quarterbacks alive that have won a playoff game. All right, Trump's genius crying over the lost football game. Fair enough. Robert G. Been a coach my whole life and a lifelong fan of the Lions. Stuff happens. Happens in sports, win or lose. That's why it's a game. Just saying. Yeah, and you can always pick apart losses. You rarely do coaches get enough credit for when things go right. They only get noticed when things go wrong. Probably can say the same for officials, right? JDC, to that divulge, happy hangover. Hope the team you want to win wins and you get nothing but touchdowns in your lives. Yeah, 100%. Think positive. All right, a couple more here, and then I'm about out. I almost got the hour in, though. I didn't think I was going to make it this long. Boo Booth, Do Crew makes a case here. We hear them out and move on. No one needs to beat a dead horse. We are thankful to Dan for providing this for me. Yeah, hope you guys all enjoy it. I know I sure enjoy it. And thanks for that, Boo. Iceman, sure, Trump, coming from a person that idolizes the president. Oh, boy. No political talk in here, man. All right, so here we go. Donkey Kong, Super Bowl or bust. There we go. I knew you'd be popping up, man. Mile marker JDC for 100%. Phil, I studied pressure point when I played football. Grab a pressure point in a person, they give it up fast. Yeah, if you can do that and you can be accurate, yeah, that's some Kung Fu theater right there. USA Today, Kung Fu theater. I missed that. Dave, what do you got? It looks like Turf Log did a video about the Lions resurgence. I haven't watched it yet, but Turf Frog usually makes decent content, so it should be good. I'll have to check that out then. I'm not privy to who that is, but I'll check that out. Non-laughers, F it, F San Fran, go commercials. Yeah, I'm hoping we have some good ones. The non-laughers, FKC. Fair enough. You're just have them all, right? Trump should have, would have, could have. Yeah, you can't change it now. Mile marker, well, I'm a Swiftie now. Nothing wrong with that. Mile marker for sure. Iceman, Trump, oh boy. JDC, I'd like to see Ted Nugent do Taylor Swift songs. It might happen. All right, Trump's, that was funny, and a grown man crying over 2 weeks later. Angie, are you going to block Trump's genius? When are you going to block? Not yet, at least. How about that? All right, Iceman, yeah, keep laughing. All right, CD, not blaming MCDC, like his style. He just needs a QB tough as him that the team looks as a leader, not just the best QB we've ever had. Fair enough. It's just tough, man, because, you know, a lot of people on the team really do like Goff. And obviously you can see that in the locker rooms after games. You know, the stadiums rocking out Jared Goff, cheering him on. Let's go, Jared. Just all that stuff. Dennis, good morning, fam. Good morning to you too. Mile marker, hilarious music. Yeah, fair enough. All right, guys, pretty close to an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and get off the air for now. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 5,800. And if you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button for the video. You know, you guys all know the drill. It really helps out a lot. If for some reason there's breaking news later today, I'll try to get to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. Have a great Super Bowl.